If you think the algorithm is your biggest problem right now, pause for a second, because that belief might be the one thing holding you back. Here's why. Every minute, over 500 hours of new content is uploaded to YouTube. Not every day, every minute. That's what you're competing against. So when your videos don't get a lot of views, it seems obvious that the algorithm is working against you. And the more that happens, the more it feels like growth on YouTube is random. But YouTube isn't random, it's performance driven, and viewer attention is scarce. YouTube recommends videos when people click, watch, and engage. When they don't, impressions flatline. In an environment like that, creativity alone isn't enough, and guesswork leads to frustration and burnout. Without a clear content strategy, even strong ideas get lost in the noise. And when that happens, the algorithm becomes an easy target. Here is where some creators get it wrong. I made this same mistake when I first started. That changed when I realized that clarity doesn't start with what you want to say, it starts with who you're creating content for. Creators who struggle tend to build in isolation. They focus on what they're passionate about, what they think is interesting, and what they feel like talking about. There's nothing wrong with that, but it risks becoming disconnected from your audience's needs. Modern YouTube doesn't just reward expression, it rewards engagement. The clearer you are about your audience's frustrations, goals, language, and behavior, the stronger your signal becomes. When you start studying what people are searching for, the questions they repeat in the comments, and the patterns in what gets engagement, you begin to see overlap. The intersection between what you're creating and what people are actively looking for. That intersection is what I call the signal filter. And when your ideas pass through that filter, you move from simply being creative to being impactful and relevant. And relevance is what allows you to break through the noise. But here's the real test. If someone asks you what your channel actually does, could you answer it in one sentence? Most creators think they can, but when you actually listen to how they describe their channel, it's usually vague. They'll say something like, I make videos about personal growth, or I create content about tech and creativity. That sounds fine on the surface, but it doesn't clearly answer who it's for or what specific problem it solves. That's a weak signal. Now compare that to something more specific. I help new creators understand the business side of YouTube so they can grow faster without the guesswork. That statement immediately identifies a person, new creators, a problem, they don't understand how YouTube works as a business, and an outcome, faster growth without guesswork. That's a strong signal. The signal filter forces you to answer 3 simple questions. Who is this for? What problem does it solve? And what result can someone expect? When those answers are obvious, your positioning becomes stronger and your content becomes easier for both viewers and YouTube to understand. And this isn't limited to educational content. Take gaming. Street Fighter 6 fans who want to learn high-level combos and rank up faster. Clear person, clear problem, clear outcome. Or a travel vlog. Budget-conscious 20 to 25-year-olds looking for affordable destinations. Clear person, clear problem, clear outcome. The format doesn't change, only the niche does. The real danger isn't getting it wrong, it's blaming the algorithm instead of focusing on what you can control. Most creators don't struggle because they lack talent. They struggle because they lack consistency. Once you've developed a clear signal, then the real challenge begins. Repeating it long enough for it to stick. That means resisting the urge to pivot every time a video doesn't perform the way you expected. It means refining instead of restarting. It means constantly improving instead of constantly changing direction. Because clarity isn't built in one upload, it's built through repetition. When you consistently reinforce the same core message, who you help, what problem you solve, and the result you deliver, people begin to recognize you. And recognition is what builds trust, and trust is what builds momentum. But the moment you drift and start chasing trends, changing direction, and blaming the algorithm, you lose focus. And without focus, predictable growth becomes predictable frustration. YouTube isn't fighting against small creators. It's responding to signals. When your signal is unclear, growth feels random. When your signal is strong, growth becomes more predictable. Remember, clarity, alignment, and consistency aren't shortcuts, they're disciplines. And most creators won't commit to them long enough to see results. Even if you're disciplined, creators can still struggle if they don't understand how YouTube actually measures quality. If you're serious about growth, the next step is mastering how to consistently create quality videos. I break that down in detail here.